Well. One more game of Scrabble for us to play today. Again, I'm Matt Canik, joined by Nits Chagti, and we're going to
Hello,
be
everyone.
bringing y'all a little treat. Paul Holser versus Trey Wright. And for those of you who don't know Trey Wright and his storied Scrabble career, he burst onto the scene in the early mid 90s and quickly became one of the best players in the world. In fact, he finished second at a Nationals in 1998 and won the whole shebang in 2004. Then stopped playing tournaments almost completely in 2006 and has only popped up a few times between here and there. His most recent tournament was the Nationals in 2015, and boom, out of nowhere, Trey Wright back for this tournament. So we really wanted to get him on stream. And Paul Holzer, definitely not a slouch himself from my native state of Texas. And he was a perennial 1700, 1750 player. And the last few years, he's been lighting it up, winning tournaments, burning down fields. And I don't know what, if he's been studying words or changing his approach to Scrabble, but definitely some exciting play I expect to see from both of these players. Trey,
Wow,
yeah, also
Matt.
originally from
Yeah.
Texas, started playing tournaments in Houston before relocating to California early on in his career. So we're trying to get some diversity on the stream for these early games, but this was the table two matchup. And so we just bumped him up to table one for y'all. I'm very excited to see what kind of strategies Trey can bring to the table. No idea where his word knowledge is at. Has he studied the new stuff? Does he have some rust previously? I do not know, but we will maybe learn a thing or two about Trey on this stream, and definitely I'm excited to watch him. He's somebody I grew up idolizing as I came on the scene in 2005, 2006, and he was cream of the crop. So I'm excited if y'all at home aren't. But here we go. Our table two matchup bumped to table one. Paul Holzer and Trey Wright.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, you really do tell, and it's been quite a tale. This is interesting. I haven't been in the North American Scrabble scene for long. I was taking a Scrabble hiatus. I did actually start doing youth Scrabble back in the day when I was in India. So this is all news to me. I gotta say, I'm quite excited to see Trey and Paul go down. The hoedown, throwdown against each other. Now that you've told us this vivid tale of these guys, rising to the top. I wonder what, feelings they're bringing to the table, what it feels like to be back in the game, and how familiar this is to them. Is it just like muscle memory, sitting back and riding that bike of getting those bingos down on the board? And what does the word study look like when the Scrabble world has changed so much and has had so many interesting new developments? Like, where do you put yourself? And for this point, I really want to ask the chat, how do you guys feel about having like a diversity of our players, not just looking at the top two or top four players, but looking at interesting figures who have been in the scene for quite a bit and have a lot to show us? What do you guys think?
I'm excited to watch Trey Wright play, man. And if he's anywhere near the player he used to be, I wouldn't be surprised to see him popping up and down the top of the standings later on in this tournament as well. Again, this was the table two matchup. It wasn't until I popped into the standings and looked, I'm like, wait, they're 7-5. Why are they on table two? But alas, it's done. They're here. We're gonna get it. And I'm very excited to watch Trey play all over again.
So we're just waiting on Trey to sit down and then we can get started. Oh, wow. I'm sure this is going to be quite the game. I mean, as many twists and turns as we've been seeing with the games so far. I personally love a game, watching a game and commentating a game that comes all the way down to that end game where you have to calculate that very last second of it. When we watched David Eldar today and Olatunde, and the game came down to that one final move of Rima. That was quite a play, quite a calculation that had to be done. I don't know, Matt, like, what do you think? What do you prefer to look at and commentate?
I mean, I could watch Jackson and Mac and Will play all day as long as I understand what they're thinking. A lot of the time I can figure it out. Sometimes I can't. I would watch Nigel play all day. I was so bummed that he wasn't signed up for this tournament. I would have loved to sit here and do 31 games of analysis watching over Nigel's shoulder. But I also like seeing other players. Sometimes it's easy to get cynical in Scrabble and think, wow, every expert over 1800 would find C and make this play. But that's not true. If that's how it was, we'd see a lot more randomness in who wins tournaments. And yet, for whatever reason, it always seems to be the same people at the top. So I like seeing different styles. I like seeing, what would an 1800 player miss? What would a 1900 player miss? What makes you different
Exactly.
from me, aside from maybe small gaps in word knowledge? What tactics do you have or not have? And I know I'm personally a player who loves to play against my opponent more than just against the equity or the computer. I know if you like to play open, we're playing closed. If you like to play closed, I'm not letting you do that to me. If you don't know words,
Right.
we're setting up fun hooks, that kind of stuff. So
We were just talking about David Gibson just 2 minutes ago, and David Gibson was one of those players notorious for closing up a board like no one else. And now we have Sid Morali, who does the exact same. I think he won the award for, being the player who's most, I guess, evocative of David Gibson's playing style. And that really can be what makes a player themselves. It can be, their calling card. In fact, this is what my board will always look like. This is what I will control, and this is what I will make sure happens. And those players can be quite strong when they come in with that kind of strategy. Don't mind the clock. We are just testing that tech, and then we are going to get the players ready. You will see that these tiles will go into the bag, and it's going to be a fresh new game for us to enjoy.
absolutely looking forward to it. This again is the final game of the day, round 14, playing 7 games a day for 4 days, and then we'll have the best of 5 finals on the 5th day. Players will get a 2-day hiatus, and then those who are diehard enough to play the World Championship shortly thereafter will be playing an additional 32 plus games as part of that event.
And for the Scrabble Players Championship, you have all seen a variety of commentators so far. We've had the lovely Hannah Lieberman, the amazing Nina Lee. We're also going to have, I believe, 1 or 2 more commentators. But for Westpac, the World Championship, it is going to be Matt and I going every day, 8 hours and 8 games a day for 5 days. And that will be us. And you will
Yeah.
see us
I
at,
am I'm
at the
so
same
sorry
spot.
for all of y'all. I don't know who is responsible for that. You have to deal with me, and too bad, so sad. I recommend muting the Twitch tab if you
No. You
can't
should mute
handle
it
it.
when Matt's speaking and unmute it when I am. So,
Exactly.
make sure you're getting the best of the commentary.
Yeah. We should have some kind of button, like a little red light when I'm talking, and then a green light when you're talking, so that we can turn it on and off.
Exactly. So as you guys may have realized, me, born and bred in India, I'm coming from a Collins background. It's the Collins dictionary, which is the world dictionary. And when I am here for the NWL, or the North American dictionary, I can be a little bit out of my comfort zone, because the words are slightly different. So for Matt to be here and to be guiding this and to be running this is absolutely fantastic. He is one of the best commentators that we have, and we are very lucky to have him doing this. And for Westpac, I believe I'll be a lot more comfortable, and I can't wait to see what we get with this game and for the ones that are coming soon.
Yeah, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing and being exposed to more of the international players. I'm getting rather familiar with the types and style that we see from many of the top North American players, but would love to see what some of these new strong players from Pakistan, from Nigeria, from Southeast Asia bring to the table, as well as some of the old school Brits and Australians who are so fearsome as well.
Alrighty, the tiles are in the bag. They're being shaken up, and we will soon be ready to go. Paul
Yeah.
picks out his 7 tiles.
Yeah, and the real loser here is Paul, who, with that 10-minute delay, lost 10 minutes that he could be down on the Las Vegas Strip having a great time.
In that heat, I don't know if anyone's winning.
No, yeah, you're right. But Paul, if I know him well, Paul will be sitting down at the sports book having a great time. Big old sports fan, reps his Buffalo teams proudly, even though he lives in Texas now. And yeah, I could talk about sports with Paul all day. He's a good dude.
All right, we have the players checking with the team very quickly. Let's see what's going on.
I think at this point, let's just we don't want to play Scrabble anymore. Let's just go home. We've waited long enough. Let's just Oh, maybe are they trying to figure out who goes first? I don't know. Yeah, we don't need Scrabble.
I
We're not
believe
here for
Paul
Scrabble. We're here for
is.
silly things in the chat.
I believe Paul is scheduled to go first, but we could also watch, the Las Vegas strip. We could definitely get one of our peeps down there and get us a nice shot of the gambling and the fun, and perhaps we can replace that for the last game.
Yeah, I think they've got this new sphere in Las Vegas. That's what I saw that like lights up all
Oh,
weird.
yeah.
They set it to look like some weird eyeball, and it's right off that fancy, expensive golf course
I
at the
saw
Win. And
that.
yeah, wild.
Okay. Doxing ourselves with the code. That's a kid. That was not doxing. Don't worry. We do not know the lock screen keypad number. That's good. We're good. We're gonna begin any second now. The tiles are out of the bag. I think they're just confirming how this will work because this is new technology. This is new, this is a new way of setting up Scrabble. I think they want the clock to be on the other side, which makes sense. The person who goes second is allowed to decide which side the clock is on. That is perfectly okay.
I'm going second, and I would prefer the clock on this side. So let's tear down. Maybe Paul should just get up and go to the other side. Gosh, okay.
It's okay.
Trey's
That's just the way it
left-handed.
works.
Okay, that's what it is. Trey's left-handed and can't get his equipment down.
That is perfectly fine. I mean, I have arthritis in my left hand. I prefer the clock to be on a certain side, and that's just the way it goes. We make space, and we have a safe space for all people of all abilities. So that's why this is such a great game.
All right. Well, Paul with 13 minutes remaining on his clock after that. Oh, wait, no, it hasn't started yet. Okay. Paul finally drawing tiles A, E, R, R, T. Good
All
start.
right.
And O and
Come
a
on.
T. All right. Good. So Scrabble finally underway. Here we go. A, E, O, R, R, T, T. For Paul, first instinct is to play Rotator, Rotater, but that is not valid. So,
We should probably
will.
not do that. In fact, I think it might not be a better, not be a bad idea. Wow, I can't speak today. They let me do a commentary. Might not be a bad idea to just either play TOR or maybe just exchange TOR. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, probably play Ort or Tor or Rot, any one of those. Maybe Rot sets up the back E, the front T. Ort, I don't know. Ort sets up the front T with Tort as well. So I don't know. You can play one of those, but I'd probably play the three tiles as opposed to changing them. AERT, a great leave. TOR, yeah, makes a lot of sense. Sets up the back E, back T.
Nice and horizontal, just like we like to see it.
Wait, I'm sorry. Both players have their letters all straight up and down. Can we get somebody, where's Noah? I need him back.
This is a very nice game for us so far. They're keeping it clean. Now, I don't know if we're going to see Tori come down, but that would be quite funny if we did TORY making Yop, if anyone's keeping up with UK politics right now. But yeah, I mean, Yop for 27 points, keeping NOR on Trey's rack. Perfectly solid play. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, Yop is fine. He could also consider No Way and Tori. NOWAY is a nice little 5 holding PR.
Yeah.
I personally would prefer the PR leave, but I think Yop is quite a bit more defensive. Both of those plays seem absolutely fine and reasonable, as does just Yow, YOW.
Yeah, or maybe just Yaw then.
Yeah, YOW takes the back E, YAW doesn't, so you could consider that. I don't know. We'll see what Trey does. A lot of similar options, all within about 2 points of one another. So I would like to see what Trey does out of an interesting position with many options that all look mostly the same.
I believe this is also not the kind of turn where I want to take too much of my time. I want to get things down, and just because I want to save that time for when I may have a possible bingo, when I might be in a sticky situation. Just, playing Yop, nice, plain and simple. Yeah, let's move it along.
Yeah, Yop seems like a good play here to make. pretty standard. And importantly, doesn't string an N out as No Way would have done. An N would have allowed Paul to play Venerate. So
Right.
good choice there because Paul now doesn't have a counter bingo, though he does have a very solid EAVE play, making
I
WE and
like that.
PA. Scores 27. If you want to, you can put the R in front, play Reeve instead of Eve. It is 4 more points, but holds ET instead of ERT. I prefer the stability of ERT. I'd play Eve
Me
here,
too. Me
but
too, I believe.
I'd be shocked if we see anything except one of those two out of this rack. Maybe Paul
It
takes a
may be
minute.
the case. Yeah, it may be the case that we just see EVE come down on, like the K column, that same location, but EAVE, Eve would definitely be better. Okay, so TEE instead, keeping
Interesting.
AERV on the rack. All right.
Interesting. I would have played the V there for sure, but maybe Paul electing to try to keep things as tight as possible. Maybe he wants to keep the S hook on Yop to keep some variance in this game. Maybe he just likes AEVR and really enjoys the synergy between those tiles. Surely Paul had a reason for making that play. I couldn't tell you what it is, but whatever his reason was, he's going to get bingoed back on. As Trey is sitting on just one playable bingo, it'll go through the T in Tori on this rack.
So I believe that Ribstone is not valid in NWL. So Born Knights is the playable bingo here for
Correct.
NWL. 65 points, nice and easy. Get the bingo down, get the move, that game moving.
Yep. And here it
Feels
comes.
nice and clean and simple.
And for those of you who don't know Trey Wright, he is also a fantastic concert pianist. His stage name is Roger Wright, but if you just Google him, search him up on YouTube, you'll find just some absolutely phenomenal music from him. And that's something we see a lot in tournament Scrabble. A lot of great musicians are also great Scrabble players. More overlap with music and math people than with lexi heads and word people and book readers. Scrabble's a math game and an analytical game, very similar to music.
Now, Paul could have lost his chance to bingo through the O and Tori, but Born Knights gives him yet another floating O. He can get Savored down for 76. That's a nice find. Savored with the U. So don't forget, we've got our little English spellings here, nice and alive. And Paul finds it. He's gonna get it down.
Yep. So bingo,
Beautiful.
bingo, and we'll get one more as Trey with an exceptional post bingo draw, ADGIL and blank. So Paul surges ahead, 103 to 92. Trey to take the lead right back as he's got several options. Ligands seems to be his highest scoring, or it's anagram latings, both playing for 80 points, pluralizing Yop to make Yops.
This is, just another lovely game. We've got bingos coming out. And as chat seems to have pointed out before, all you need to do to win Scrabble is play all 7 tiles every single time you draw them.
Yes. Just play all 7 of your tiles and draw 7-letter words. It's easy.
There you go. Really, what tile gods are they worshiping to? What altar do they go to? Because I need to know. What is going on here?
Yeah, let's see. Did they go to New York, New York? Did they go to the Luxor and do some like ancient Egyptian worship? I'm trying to think what other deities there are. Worship the Stratosphere Tower, Lady Luck herself.
Who could they have gone to?
So this is a rack where I think we'd see players like Jackson and Josh play a little bit more quickly, but Trey perhaps a little bit rusty, perhaps just a little bit more methodical with his approach. But I bet he's looking for double doubles down from that A.
Right.
We know there's nothing there, but he wants to be extra sure. He'll probably go through the full alphabet here: AADGILN and a blank. What could the blank be? What are the bingos in that rack?
Yeah, also this is a board with a few more floaters. So this is the chance for him to look at not just Yop taking the back hook of S, but also what can he play through. So, I mean, the N is available. He can look through, looking for double doubles. It totally makes sense. Perhaps it wouldn't be a smart idea to waste too much time looking through the S in Sabered because he knows it's not going to hit a double word. But, yep, latings, he's got that on his rack. He knows it's going to be a good play.
Yeah, and pick your
see it come
poison.
down.
Latings will give back Z plays. Ligands will give back Q plays. Not really, though. IG is not a word, so Ligands perhaps a little bit more defensive to the bomb, although X plays still possible after Ligands.
I guess he's getting the blank slip ready so that he can notate the S. All right. That comes down for a good 80 points.
All right, so Ligands it is. 80 points for Trey. And play passes back to Paul, who can't be excited about Bingo Bango against him, but AAIJOPU is Paul's rack, and he's going to try to score some points. A really nice word of Sapajou. Sapajou plays down from the S right now. A cool way to work out of this rack. Also, a lot of points available with Java through the V and savored for 36.
I like that. I also don't mind Puja making PEP, PEP, and PUJA, Puja. That's also a good one, I think. 33 points, nothing to sneeze at. But Sapaju, if Paul sees it, is really a beautiful, beautiful play for getting rid of these clunky little tiles that he's got. And he finds it. Nice.
Ooh, that's got to feel so good, man. Show off that word
wow.
knowledge. Drop Sapajou on stream. Very nice, Paul. Very nice. This guy knows his stuff.
Nice.
This guy's been putting in the time. We like it. We like it. What we don't like is Trey's rack.
Having 4 E's.
C-E-E-E-T-U. Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Yikes. I like a good E myself, but seeing 4 of them and a U, yikes! You can count me out.
Yeah, I'll pass on that as well. Thank you.
Do you
but
even
thanks for that.
here?
Thanks for the offer. Very sweet.
Yeah, maybe just educe, maybe EDUCE, perhaps from the D in savored would be nice to clean up that that rack. Get rid of the U, get rid of 2 E's, with a respectable leave of TEE. That's perfectly fine.
In this situation, I think I'm actually more inclined to grab points right here. TERCE plays through the R in Tori. EEU is not a fun leave, but
Ooh.
I'm not really as concerned on this board. Scoring opportunities are very limited. Bingo opportunities are practically non-existent. This board is very tight, forming whatever kind of shape that is, like an ampersand or something. But I think points now is going to be priority number 1 and not opening. I really like this play of Terse. Keep things tight.
In that case, yeah. I like Terse. In that case, I probably wouldn't mind Eku, ECU, making we pack and going ECU down on that column. I think that might be good for scoring those points and perhaps not keeping EEEU. What do you think?
Iku opens the board in a way that Terse does not, and I think Trey agrees with me. I really like this. I was not expecting this from Trey, but I think this is a really good decision by him. Keep things tight, keep scoring, force Paul to open this board, and then try to hurt him when he does.
Oh, and now Paul with this weird-looking rack. We love to see a Z, but we do not love to see that QV combo. Yikes.
So Vagi, V-A-J or V-A-G-I plays through the A in savored, but it's going to hold A-E-Q-Z. Is that something Paul wants to do? Do we want to hold both of those? Q not very powerful on this board. You can dunk it for 22 on top of Ligands. You have a U in Sapajou, but you're not going to be able to score many points out of it. He's also got Kadi if he chooses to cash it in now, Q-A-D-I.
Yeah.
That's 28, holds E-G-V-Z. So neither one of these a very appealing option, but not much else to be done. Plunk the Q, perhaps?
I don't know what I do here. Perhaps Vagi is fine. I don't really like the idea of keeping the Q and the Z, but maybe Kadi. Vagi is not bad. If he gets that down, that's a good play.
Yeah, none of those plays are bad.
It's hard to decide. Yeah, it's hard to decide what to do here. I think in the moment, I'd feel just fearful enough of that QZ combo that I'd probably get down Kadi.
One other play is Nazi down from the N in Ligand, EGQV, probably the worst leave of them all, but it is 39 points.
Yeah, in that case, I would just take Vagi, Oh, Quags. Okay.
All right,
That's
neat.
an interesting move.
Yeah, getting out of this rack as quickly as he can. EIVZ takes you places that none of those other leaves can. So I understand the rationale, but 19 points and keeping this board tight with the deficit is rather tough.
Right. Now, what is Trey to do? Something that really just pops out immediately is just audio through the D in Saber. Just get those tiles out. Keep EI. I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
this is
probably
it.
going to do
Adieu is audio, but better. It doesn't give the potential for that triple letter double word play. It scores 12. It keeps this board very tight. And hey, with the lead, that is exactly what you want to do. Make Paul open this board and whack him when he does. Adieu's a great play. I love this by Trey. Solid stuff.
Well, he does undouble his E, which is good. EIO probably slightly better than EEI. Let's see. And he's drawn well. But for Paul now, he has to figure out what he's going to do. I think perhaps something just as simple as zip to the P in Sapaju, keeping that EINTV leave would be good here.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it can be tough to get rid of our power tiles when we're not scoring 40 or more points, but zip for 34, it's nice and respectable. The leave is good, undoubles the I. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I love it. You don't want to open this board quite yet. If you're Paul, you want to wait and open when you are in range to make a great play, and otherwise keep things tight as well. Keep scoring points. Zip, I think, is what you want to do, and EINTV can get you in range next turn with the right pull. So
and
take it
Cesar
patient.
in the chat, he points out ZD. ZD is also a great play. This is on this is under Legans doing LIIT and GI ZD. That's also a good play, I think. But I don't know if I would prefer something similar to, oh, wow, there is a great play here. It's Zeatin, Zeatin, through the A of Saber. That is also a great play.
40 points, as opposed to the 34 of zip, but you're really destabilizing a rather stable leave. EINTV is significantly better than just IV alone. And so even if Paul sees Zeatin, I agree with this play of zip. I think it keeps him in the position he wants to be in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only reason why I like Zeatin just a little bit more is I'm not seeing a lot of places to bingo on this board right now. So even if the rack is slightly destabilized, just like Trey keeping EEU, keeping the board closed, I think Zeatin is fine in that case. He doesn't really need to keep that rack leave that assures he gets a bingo, because what will he do with that bingo?
Yeah, I mean, Paul certainly needs to open this board at some point, but that point I don't think is just quite yet. And you have to think, like, Trey can't keep scoring, right? There's nowhere to score on this board. I have the Z, so I can get some points, but Trey, in fact, has the X.
And he's going to get away with GO and OX, yeah.
I don't think so. I think he's just going to plunk it between Sapaju and Savored, AX and AX. I think that's all we do here. I don't think he's going to play Go and Ax. I think he's going to play just the X. We don't want to open the board if we're Trey. Plunk it, 36 points, hold Orient.
I don't know. I mean, if I've got that rack, I'm starting to think about, opening the board just a little.
I think the worst thing that can happen, Trey's in the driver's seat, up 29 points with this X on his rack. The worst thing that can happen is you open the board, your opponent bingos, closes it back up, and suddenly you're at a loss. Play the X. Make Paul open it, and then bingo
lane back. If you play OX under Legans, and then Paul plays a bingo underneath, you still get the triple back. It's probably not the worst move. I do like Axe. I do like just plopping that X down. But again, when you do draw a bingo, what are you going to do with it? You really have to hope that your opponent is going to open something.
No, if he doesn't open, I don't care. I'm up by 50 points. Fine. Keep it closed. I don't care. I'll play Ryoja eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so he does go ahead with your suggestion. He does play Axe.
I love it. I love it. Great job, Trey. All right, EIIMNTV for Paul. And he's got to be less than thrilled about Trey now taking a 65-point lead on this dead tight board. Paul's like, man, this was tight. I didn't open anything. How did you get 36? Come on, your average play next turn had to be like 18 points, and you got 36. Oh, But I think we're approaching time that Paul needs to open this board
He
up.
really needs to open now.
If not this turn, next turn for sure. If he wants to keep things tight for one more turn, try to breed his rack for a bingo. MI between Quags and
Oh,
Liggins
and he
makes
sees
sense.
it.
Oh, yep. Okay,
Yeah.
Paul, you heard me. Good. My
Okay.
telepathic waves. Eventually, he'll have to get this board open, but maybe he wants to get this V off his rack before he does that. Maybe
Yeah.
he'll get a perfect miracle fish alongside Cat, U, and PE. We'll see.
Now,
We'll find
with
out.
Paul at 203 and Trey at 245, I don't think he's in too much of a hurry to open this board. Maybe he's gonna go ahead and just play AH and JO. So
Yep.
getting HO down there, keeping it blocked. He gets rid of the 2 tiles he doesn't really need. Hope that his opponent opens next turn because they have to. Paul has to open if he's hoping for, points on this board.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I see Trey going ahead and keeping it closed, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what Trey needs to do here, and I'd be shocked if he does anything else. Perhaps maybe we'll see THOU to the U in Savored, but hey, you've got the board in a great shape. Maybe we just keep it there. One other option, if he wants to score a little bit more now, is to play ETH from the E in Savored, or hold the H for a similar play in that spot. EINOR could be trouble, but if I'm Trey, I look at how many vowels are left in the bag. I'm counting 14 out of 40 unseen. So maybe EINOR, not the worst thing to keep, but HO looks so good. AHJO, HO, keep it tight. EINRT, score a lot of points. ETH also makes sense. We're scoring a lot of points. The worst thing that can happen is ETH. I pick up 2 vowels. Paul opens, and this whole plan I've had, when Paul opens, I crush the board.
Right.
Oh no, he opened and I can't crush the board because I left a bad leave.
I don't know. I kind of want to see him play ETH now. It's 30 points. The board is so closed. It's going to get harder and harder to get any points on this board. Perhaps sneaking those 10 points in is not a bad idea. Let's see what he does. He's messing with his tiles.
Ooh, okay. So another version of Hertz. He's actually going to cash, or another version of Eth. He's going to cash Hertz here. So the best, highest scoring play available to him. INO, a rather volatile leave, but a lot of points. And with most of the big hitters, JQXZ, just the J unseen now, QXZ out. Not going to get hit super duper hard with overlapping plays, and still crucially doesn't allow Paul any bingos. We know Paul's not close, but Trey has to be worried a little bit more about that. Neat play.
Right. And Paul, I think, is going to have to, well, what is he going to have to? Perhaps just vid next to the Hertz, perhaps?
Yeah, vid on the right side, vet on the left side, or if he is ready to start opening things up, vid beneath Liggins, making LI and amid. Amid a good play to put there because it takes back hooks and E and an O. So, that's a way to open this board out in a way that's going to be annoying for Trey to deal with. Amid also takes it back S. So, I don't know. Vid.
Well, something maybe even more volatile. Maybe just playing dative through the A in Adu, DATIVE, and keeping that KN. Very, very volatile. But, maybe this is a point where he needs to start thinking that he has to do it. He's about a bingo behind, and either he continues to score decently, and his opponent also continues to score decently, or he's eventually gonna have to think, do I need to bingo?
Yeah, dative or Davit, a similar version of that play that doesn't quite open up the triple word. Sets up an S that he doesn't have, but Trey doesn't have it either, but he doesn't know that. I don't know. Lots of good options. I think vid to the right side of Hertz, very standard, makes a lot of sense. And if Trey doesn't have an 8A to front hook and make Ahi, then a good play is one that sets up a V to bingo from as well. I really like this vid play on the bottom, VID, LI, and a mid.
Yeah, that's not bad. I kind of prefer the vid play on the C column, but I do see why a mid is definitely up there. It's definitely a contender. I wonder what he's going to go with. Perhaps he's just going to say, okay, yeah, I want to take the triple out of the equation. I'm going to play vet and just get it over with. I do see him, like looking at the K. Perhaps he doesn't want to keep that. I mean, between K and V, what would you rather have on your rack, right? Like he has to make that calculation.
One other good play that we're seeing here, or that we haven't talked about yet, is Inked, Inked, from or down through the N and Ligand. That's 30 points and does finally open this board.
Ooh.
So I think that might be a good play for Paul. If Trey has a really good play alongside Hertz, then Paul has opened a bingo line for himself. In TV, perhaps not the best leave, an abundance of O's in the bag, but not too many other good vowels. But if you want to open the board, Inked is a way to do it. Vid on the bottom is a way to do it. Looks like Paul set up Kine and was thinking pretty hard about playing it to the right side, making re-savored, but I think correctly talked himself out of it. It would have been cool if it existed.
That would be cool. I don't know. I mean, with double challenge, would you challenge it? Would it be like an insta challenge kind of a thing? You played
the fact that re-saver would be both a 7 without the U and an 8 with the U, it can't be good. You've got to know that it's a Sarovar and Saverer and nothing else in that rack of 7. So you can't do it. That gets challenged even in double.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, re-savored. Oh, I like it though.
It's fun. Definitely fun.
Yeah. Okay, so he goes with bet.
Yep. I think that's fine. I think that makes sense.
It's a good play. Yeah.
We're going to want to draw another E if we're Paul for sure, but this doesn't give back very much to Trey. The problem, though, is Paul is starting to run out of daylight and definitely running out of space on this board to get back to the game. What a weird
We've seen some freakishly open boards with lots and lots of tiles to play through and get their bingos down. And we've seen boards like this now where every move is calculated because there's nowhere to play for points. You can get 10 points or 15 points. And once in a while, you can find something that's perhaps 25 points. In this case, Feod, F-E-O-D, underneath Legance, where originally, Matt, you were suggesting playing Vid. So it would be F-E-L-O and then amid, making amid.
I don't think we see Trey play that. Trey has shown an intense reluctance to open this board, and I can't imagine that changes his turn. He's going to look for options that keep things tighter, that are more annoying, that don't give Paul as much back.
At the loss of some equity in some points. So in that case, I really don't know where he would want to or be able to get something that scores well. This is a board that is quickly going to need some amount of opening plays to get that scoring down. There's not much left in the interior of the board.
Yeah, we're really running out of space to play. As I say, I don't think Trey's going to open this board. I just don't see anything that doesn't do it. What do you do? Plunk an O, just play veto and OR? Like you're running out of places to score. So
yeah, and I mean, even if he does play veto, what does that accomplish for him? I'm trying to see. I mean, there's not much that Paul can do to come back without a bingo. This board is very anti bingo. So really though, what do you do at this point?
Yeah, Giga does take a back S hook. And so any play like Oda that makes Elo a mid and Giga would still open this board up. If Giga didn't take a back S, Oda would be so awesome. But alas, it's not there for him.
I feel like perhaps something like Dona might be okay then. Dona, making Loamin, and Giga, maybe that would be still okay. I feel like it doesn't give back as much to the opponent as much as like Feod would, perhaps. Maybe even Foyne. But Dona, I think, might not be a bad idea. He does have it set to the side of his rack. He does appear to be considering it. I do. Yeah, I'm very curious to learn what Trey is going to do here.
11 vowels, 21 consonants, and a blank unseen to Trey. So I wonder if that factors into the consideration. But Trey, yeah, I think reluctantly is opening the board just in the absence of anything else to do. You nailed it. Dona coming down. He's not certain, hasn't hit the clock just yet. Finally, there it goes. And so Dona, he is going to open this board, but
Okay.
not in an incredibly lucrative way, though S's are going to be enormous in this game. And finally, Paul has drawn
And
an S.
Paul has that S. It's a dangerous, dangerous S. And he doesn't even have to use it. He can just play Dinky, making PED, PED, and get Dinky down for 40 points. He can keep that S.
Yep. I think that's a great play, a great idea, though it does kind of weaken the S. It's still there for overlaps. It opens the board, forks the board as well. So finally, Paul's able to groom his rack to a point where he's got reasonable tiles, and now he's got a great board opening play that doesn't just open, but forks the board. Dinky, a really nice play for Paul to get out of what was a tight situation. So Paul, I think, did a great job, just kind of stayed patient. I've got junk. Let me keep scoring. And he had kind of the worst case scenario where Trey just kept having high scoring plays in situations where it's very hard to have high scoring plays, but he's going to be able to work his way out of this. He's got that S. If he can pick up a blank, he's close to in the driver's seat for this game. So Dinky coming down. Good job, Paul.
What would have been really interesting if he just played Dink? If he had kept
Oh.
YOS, that would have, I wonder, like, did he consider that? That would have been interesting to see.
If there were no unseen S's, I think you can do that. But with this pool, not quite. I don't think you can justify it.
You
Good
kind of
thought,
have
though.
to be a little aggressive right now with the way that the board's looking. I don't know. I mean, I personally don't have the guts to play Dink when I have that Y there, but I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool for sure. What else is cool? A new word for Trey, emoji through the J. 42 points.
Whoa.
It's FIL, but does nothing to address the opening of the board that Paul has just done. So I think Filmy, FIL and Y
Yeah.
to the Y is another play that makes sense, especially given this unseen pool. Let's try to get that up there for our production team, but we're really starting to run out of vowels here. So EIO, rather scary,
Yeah.
but only 7 vowels in the pool. 24 unseen for Trey.
And he keeps
EIO not as
EIO.
scary as it appears. Filmy, I think, a pretty good play here as well. And here it comes. No? Yes? No? Maybe?
He's thinking. I wonder if he's going to see emoji. I wonder if, oh, nope, filming it is. All
Yeah,
righty.
emoji's a good play, but I think hold the vowels, address the Y, try to start knocking out lanes again. Good idea. Paul finds bow shot a very low probability 7, setting it up on his rack. Can't be happy that it doesn't fit on the board, but if he spends some more time, he will be rather happy about the opportunity to play hobos underneath Donia for 48, making DO, LOB, Amino, and Gigas. That gives back a lot of overlapping plays and a lot of easy ones. So I don't know that it's the right thing for Paul to do here, but it is pretty awesome.
And if you're looking at the pool, you have to be slightly, concerned about how many vowels you're going to pick up. I mean, to be fair, it's a little different for Paul. He doesn't know that Trey's got, in this case, 4 vowels, but it's not a lot of vowels for him to pick up in the pool that he's got. Hobos is a fantastic play, use that S. But I wonder if he would be considering, hey, maybe I should play just hobo. Maybe I should keep that S for that possibility of getting a bingo down. I don't know.
I think Paul's best play here is actually Shoujo through the J. It's 45 points now. He will probably need to draw either a bingo down from the S or a bingo with the second S to win this game, but he's not in the best shape right now. I just feel like Hobos loses most of the time, unless Trey's sitting on 7 consonants, which is very unlikely now. Actually, 9 vowels in the pool of 20 unseen tiles. I feel like Hobos is a spread-saving play, or Hobo is a spread-saving play, but one that doesn't actually win you this game too often. Hobo scores 33 now. Trey probably gets 30 to 40 back, and even a bingo might not be enough for you. So Shoujo, I think, is a really cool play to open different lines. Paul's going to play Bo.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about a Bo. Perhaps Shoujo or even Wahoo would have been slightly better than Bo. I can see him wanting to conserve that S, though. I can see he's got that fear. He wants to keep that. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think I prefer How in this situation, HOW, just to set up the S. But SHOT is quite bingo prone. The SH has a lot of good
Exactly.
synergy together. So that's some of the rationale. But we're going to see exactly why a play like Hobo or Hobos or Bow was maybe not the best thing for him to do here, as Trey's got an easy 40-point play. FORE, FINE, FIRE, FERE, whatever. Just pick something, play it there, 40 points. And even if Paul bingos now, Trey's going to be ahead by nearly 90. And that bingo is probably not going to be enough for Paul. Shoujo is a really hard play to see, but I
Right.
think that's the kind of play that might win you this game when most other things do not.
It's hard to change your mindset from going from, okay, I have to play equity, I have to save the best tiles in the rack, to going from, what do I strategically need on this board? What does this board look like? So not every board is the same. Not every board requires the same move. It's not that every single time you see this board, you have to calculate, oh, okay, RIN is a better leave than BTW, and let me keep RIN as opposed to BTW, because you got to look at the board. And in this case, I think Shoujo shows us exactly that, which is that playing it, keeping BTW, is the best chance for a bingo or like a pull from the tile back that can save that game.
Yeah, or potentially the play I suggested for Trey earlier, THOU, could have been a good option as well for Paul. Would hold BORS, which is maybe not the best, but you got to do something to open a line and annoy Trey here. Give yourself the possibility to hit a bingo with PEDS and also a place to bingo elsewhere. Bo doesn't achieve that goal.
Right. Now I'm wondering what Trey is thinking. If I were in his position, I would probably play 4 as opposed to fire. He seems to have fire lined up on his rack just because there's 2 O's unseen to him and only 1 I unseen. I would prefer to play 4 here. But if he does come down with fire, that's a perfectly fine play. It's the same score, 40 points, and an easy lead that he retains. Oh, fiery. Even better. I don't know if I like that, though.
Yeah, that's not a word.
Yeah, that's why.
And Paul's going to
Oh,
challenge.
it's gonna be instant. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Big swing, big swing. Perhaps
Whoa.
Trey confusing with Hiree, HIREE, but showing us a little bit of the
Maybe.
rust there. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's gonna be a swing.
Hey, in his defense, he has not played a tournament for 8 years, and I brought him up onto stream despite him being 8-5. So stream is hard, especially, I don't think he's played a single tournament since streaming Scrabble was a thing. That's a big swing. That is a huge swing, as now Paul will be able to capitalize on that scoring spot. There's still a blank
Yeah.
unseen. Paul can play hog now, draw into a pull of
Maybe even
several E's.
hogs.
Whoa,
I mean,
whoa,
just
whoa.
yeah. Yeah, this is the thing with Scrabble tournaments, like it's not decisive sometimes until the very last second. You can have this huge lead and then a small mistake, and then there can be a huge swing.
And
Huge swing.
the difference between fire and fiery is so small in terms of valuation or equity. The trade must have been really confident on that. And just a little slip
Right.
of the mind, it's hirey, not fiery. It's really hard to keep hooks and 5 straight. But wow, all of a sudden, Paul's going to have a chance to get back in this game. Paul probably knowing that there's only 1 E unseen to him. Well, 3 unseen, but only potentially 1 in the bag,
One
as
in the
Trey's
bag,
flashed the last
right.
2. But yeah,
Exactly. And
hog
Trey
or
must have been
hog.
afraid of the ease that he wasn't. Well, I mean, I don't know what he was afraid of. There's only 1 E in seen him. Okay, yes. I'm not sure I understand the fiery, but Hogs is a beautiful play. It's 44 points. And it's doing what it needed to do. It's catching up.
Oh man. Wow, this game got
Wow.
very spicy very fast.
Yeah. I mean, question in the chat, why waste the S there? I wouldn't necessarily consider that a waste because of how many points that S gets you. 14 points is quite a lot to give up when you keep that S. And the tile bag, it had that blank. It has another S unseen. It's perfectly reasonable to want to go for one of those other tiles.
Yeah, should he have played the S or not? Well, it all comes down to if he draws another S. If he does draw another S, he looks brilliant, and if he doesn't, ooh, I really wish I had that on my rack.
Such is the case.
Yeah, so this is one that we go back and forwards. I bet chat would be back and forwards on that too. Looking at what he's pulled, ooh, God, I wish I'd held on to that S. But if he had picked up a blank as that last tile because of the additional turnover, or if he picked up the other S in the bag, oh, yeah, whatever. Paul's fine. So I think a bad beat by Paul to not draw the blank or the S after that play. But hey, he doesn't need a bingo. He's down by 5 points, and Trey doesn't have any good plays. Everything he does opens this board up.
The board, right. He does not want to do that. Oh, okay. He does FE. This is a tough position to be in.
Where's the blank? Trey's got a 50% chance to draw it. There's 4 in the bag now. FE is a tough play for him to make.
Oh my gosh.
The S unseen. Is he going to draw it?
The blank is in the bag. The blank is in the bag.
Where's the blank?
It's in the bag. Goodness. Oh, wow. This is an insane game.
What do you do if you're Paul? I mean, you're down 24 now.
Yeah.
Look, unseen to Paul, AEINNOORSU blank. Is that right? Okay, I think I was a little bit off.
Is it better for Trey to play 4 tiles there so that, his opponent doesn't have a chance to fish again, perhaps,
Sorry, I was wrong. There were 6 in the bag on Trey's play, now 4 in the bag. So he didn't have a 50%. He was 33% to draw it there.
Okay.
Assuming Paul didn't pick it up.
I should fact check you. I'm getting confused, sir.
Doing 7 games a day for a bunch of days in a row is going to start taking its toll on my mental health and my ability to stream.
I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know how you are still on your feet and alive, but kudos to you.
Yeah, all right. So, Paul, how do you win this game? AEINNOORSU blank unseen. And to me, playing F like that, he knows that Trey is sitting on at least EIR after Fiery. And playing FE like that kind of smells like he's holding an S, but he's not. So wild. There's an S in the bag.
It's all about the psychology.
There's a blank in the bag. What is happening right now? And again, this tournament sponsored by Woogles, as you hear my husky do a big husky shake in the background. He's also shocked by how tight this game got all of a sudden.
We can see Paul probably counting the tiles now. So he's double checking his tiles to make sure he's got his tracking correct. This is going to be, as we can see, a very, very close endgame. The pre-endgame is already as spicy as it is, as Matt, told us. There may be the chance that Paul has mistracked. He just wants to make sure he has everything down correctly. So this is a good idea. You have those 6 minutes, take them, make sure you're on track. And, that way you're less likely to mess up that end game. You do need that perfect information that becomes available to you when your opponent is holding 7 tiles or less.
My brain is broken right now. I would have no idea what to do if I were Paul. I would have both hands on my head and I would be sitting there thinking, Jesus, I have no idea what to do. And there's 300 people probably screaming at chat what I should do. But
and when Paul looks at the chat, this is a really great tile. Cool. Sorry, what were you saying, Matt?
Oh no, I have no idea what to do. I'm just killing time until Paul does something because I have nothing to offer in the way of analysis or strategy here. He'll have to make a word that is allowed. If I had to guess, he'll have to spell a word that is real. Maybe he drops the L and plays something like ALL. Maybe he plays ILL. I truly have no idea what we're about.
I like ILL. I think on the L column, making ILL and AL, I think it's a good idea. Leave 1 in the bag. Go for, that blank. Go for that S. It is possible. You have to hope that your opponent's not going to triple on you. That pool looks nice. It looks healthy, and I don't know. Yeah. I don't want to keep CRT.
Again, Trey has at least EIR on his rack, which confounds this because without EIR in that pool, you're looking at ANNOOU, and it's like, yikes. But we also know at home, blank S is in that bag, and even just one of those is going to be huge. Paul's going to play ELL here. He's playing off the last
Oh.
E. He cannot draw another one, but crucially, NEE does not take an S. Some French adjectival form of like your maiden name was, right? So we will find out what Paul leaves in the bag, but an S blank draw would be huge for him if he leaves either one of those in the bag.
Oh,
Probably
wow. This
Trey's
is
game to win.
oh, he's got the A. He's got a U. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
No way,
Oh,
Paul.
there's the
Draw the
blank.
blank. What's wrong with
Wow.
you?
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
Wow.
goodness, Paul. I'm so sorry. Left it in
Wow.
the bag. I don't know what he would have done if he drew it even, but wow.
Yeah. Holy cannoli.
Trey can't be feeling super great. You know, that blank is unseen, but what can Paul do? He didn't play a word that would allow him to bingo. I don't think anything actually bingos. Let me check. ACIRSTU blank. What bingos are unseen to Trey? Oh, so if the
Wow.
I is in the bag, custard is available. And actually, disgustingly,
Need and
there's
custard.
one other 63-point play that is a non-bingo available on the board. That is disgusting. Colby's excited too. Wow. I'll give you a hint. It starts on the triple word square on the left side of the board. But
Oh,
Paul doesn't quite have it, and that is a huge bummer. Looking at surjectory, disjectory. Nope, that is trajectory.
trajectory.
That
Wow.
is so sick, but not quite there.
Wow.
So Trey gonna block. OI makes perfect sense. ACIRS.
Oh, I figured he'd just fish one. I thought he'd just go for like the bingo. Just be
No,
like,
no.
just
This I think
BJO.
is a play. This has to win the game basically 100% of the time. Block custard and you win, barring trajectory from coming down, which again absolutely bonkers. How could you ever see or notice that? What?
I don't know. I'm kind of getting good vibes from, this is a game that'll have to be analyzed multiple times. Don't really know what Paul's gonna do here. He doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Paul can't win this game barring a big misplay or blunder from Trey. But wow, that is so sad for him that he left the blank in the bag. The blank, I don't think would have won him the game unless he sees trajectory anyway, as Trey's going to block and he can't do anything. But I don't know. It's tough to know. It's tough to figure all this stuff out. I think Trey's lead would have been just slightly too big in any case.
I think now's a good time to just play something like just I don't know, like gigas and suit, maybe making IF and TI. Yikes. This is a game and a half. What do you even do?
Wow. Yeah, certainly an interesting one. I'm glad we got to watch this because, whoa, that was weird. Everything about this was weird.
I was not expecting this game to do what it did. And again, we saw the bingo bongo, the very beginning of the game. That was a fun little treat for us. Sapashu coming down. That was a great find. And yeah, I think these players are showing us where they're at. This is what it is to see a game at this level. It's to be impressed. It's to be, just taken aback by how they think. And yeah, there's misses here and there, but at the end of the game, it's still fantastic to watch at this level. Them doing the calculations that they do, going off of the word knowledge that they have, it's really something remarkable.
Yeah, no, this was fun to watch. Lots of hard decisions. I can't say there were too many things that are wrong. Obviously, the phony 5 by Trey earlier on of Fiery is something he'd like to have back. He is going to manage to survive it here, but a lot of plays that were weird. But I don't know that we saw almost anything that was definitively wrong.
Oh, he sees suit. Beautiful. Cool. Wow. He got me in his ear. All right. What is Trey gonna do? Perhaps just maybe just era from to the A in a Jew, ERA, perhaps.
Yeah, I think he needs to block CARR, the only out that Paul's left himself with. So if he does that,
Yeah.
he'll milk a little bit more spread. But almost any valid play wins the game for him right now. It's just a matter of spread.
Yeah.
Don't play Ola. Don't play Ola like I did.
Oh no.
Referring to me blowing a nationals because I had to make any valid play to win. I played H blank LA, and I
Oi.
designated the blank as an O, which is not valid. And I played it against Cesar, who is a native Spanish speaker.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, I lost a game, a Word Cup by all I needed to do was play a valid move, and I 100% did not. I played, what was it? I think I played Mans, and it made LAN. LAN is not a word. Don't do that. Don't do that, folks. Don't do that. Yeah. You think you're going to have a LAN party, and no, it is not valid. You are not allowed to have a LAN party.
If it is, it's all caps. It's an acronym. That's it. That's all you get.
Yeah.
What is Trey doing? Is he picking up all of his letters? Is he going to play a funny outplay? No. Okay.
What? Oh, okay. So I guess he's playing
orange.
Orange. Okay. Okay.
So orange going to be the play here for Trey, and that's going to allow Paul to go out ARC on top.
Yeah.
But just a little bit too little for Paul. Trey, looking at this play, even ARC is going to be a 7-point loss for Paul. Paul's one big mistake here was not drawing that blank, leaving it as the last tile in the bag.
Because he deliberately chose to do that. When he put his hand in there, he was like, let me make sure I don't pick up that blank.
Yeah, wild. Yeah. Well, this was a cool game to watch.
Wow.
Trey Wright definitely, at least tactically speaking, I think played a really cool game. Word knowledge, a little slippery there with the fiery play, but otherwise I really like the way he approached this. And Paul, I think, did a decent job staying patient until he got a good rack and then just couldn't draw the stuff he needed at the end. He made a nice board forking play with Dinky and just couldn't pick up an S or a blank, couldn't play bow shot in just the right spot, and just barely couldn't hold on. We'll see if we can flip to some table banter for just a minute. See what these guys have to say in terms of a post-mortem.
Kidding, North of Dallas.
What'd you make believe that letter was?
You
making believe again?
Yeah, these funny little. They don't have any point value, but
they sure do matter.
Turn into anything. It's amazing.
Oh, really botched.
In my last game, he went ahead and just took care of him the first two moves. he said, I'm not going to be like Trey.
He said, yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and take care of him right now.
Yeah.
Who was that?
And so
you can tell from that draw, Chris Cree providing some extra commentary for us.
Always good to have an extra volunteer for that commentary.
I play it the way that I did. I come down here feeling you have either the blank or the S and trying to minimize whatever you can do in the corner. And I pulled the S and left the blank in the bag.
I worried that the S was in the bag and that you had curated setting up the NEE
I would have really liked
hook.
One of the O for Rio High.
Yeah, and I was close to that at once and also close to Ninja.
Yeah, when you played down here, if whatever you play, if it sticks, I'm gonna play Shoji through the J. But Fiery's no good. Now I have to cover, whatever else you might want to try to.
Right, I would have done 4 FORE.
Maybe keep the S. I don't know.
My logic for Fiery leaving ON was get myself into that bag a little deeper.
Sure.
For the blank and the S.
Another thought is I need to score. So not that I gave it some consideration, but not seriously consider it. Like keep the H so I can try to come up through here.
Mm-hmm.
It just,
When I had the H, I was debating between ETH and Hertz.
Sure.
and I left ION. So like it'd be nice to keep that E actually, but again the
Well-
bag and the possibility of a Z bingo too.
Sure. This was really hard, and I'm pretty confident it's not right. But what I want to do is run something like inked out through here, where I don't have any of the cookies that can help me really.
I wanted to do Fado.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so it's like cover that corner and just hang around and see what happens. You know?
she's barely hung on.
We've got some King of the Hill references in the chat over the good show.
All right. Well, we'll cut away from the audio there. It looks like post-mortem largely over as we hear a few of the thoughts going through the players' brains in what was a wild game. We are signing off for today. That was the last of our 7 games today. Once again, we will be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock Pacific time. That's noon Eastern time with more Scrabble. Tomorrow, the plan is to go all NWL all day. So if you're a Collins person, tune in anyway, or don't and watch some of our previous Collins action and mark your calendar for next week, as we'll have all Worlds, all CSW next week. But we will be back bright and early on the West Coast, or at noon for me over here in Philadelphia, with more Scrabble action for you. This concludes our coverage of day 2 of the Scrabble Players Championship, sponsored by NASPA from hot and sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. Signing off for today, I'm Matt Canik, joined by the great Nits Chagti, and we will be back bright and early tomorrow. See y'all then.
See you guys. Thanks so much.